Well, hello and welcome back to Soul Search Sunday with Johnny Tiger. The date is May 11 and it is Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Hopefully everybody have an occasion to be celebrated and to celebrate the woman that brought them into this world. I talked to my mom yesterday already. She's in Taiwan, so she's always a day ahead of us. So her Mother's Day was yesterday. So what's been happening? Well, this week has been a bit of a creepy, crawly kind of week because for some weird reason, I seem to be invaded by beetles. I don't even know what these little guys are. They don't run very fast. They don't get off the floor. Technically speaking, they're not really bad as far as pests go. They just kind of move slowly on the carpet and get stepped on. And the problem is, when you are blind and don't know they are there, you step down out of bed in the morning, run into the bathroom, and then you feel this little pebble thing under your heel, and it go crunch, and it's really icky. Okay, it's just a really squeamish kind of situation, and I'm finding at least two or three of these guys on the carpet in the bedroom every day, which is not normal. And if a blind guy can find two or three every day, God knows how many more are there. I'm just not coming across them. So, that's a scary thought. So anyway, maybe someone in the audience, maybe some of you have solutions. You can put it in the comment section, and I will thank you. So far, I have tried the first line of defense, the one that everybody recommended, which was the cedar oil spray. Supposedly, bugs will run away from this, but well, I mean, I can't say that it doesn't work, but it doesn't have the intended consequences. You see, when I sprayed around the walls, around the baseboard, around under the furniture, uh, and in the vents and stuff, I expected the little buggers, no pun intended, to vacate the premise. I was thinking they would just well, okay, I was imagining a line of beetles just marching out from under my door and go back outside and never to return again. The consequence was a lot less desirable. Rather than marching out of the house, the little creepy crawlies just came out from behind the furniture and from whatever dark corners they were hiding and congregate around the middle of the room where I did not lay down cedar oil spray. Now you may say, well, why didn't you spray the carpet? Well, because I don't want the cats to get sick. I don't want to saturate the carpet in cedar oil. Like honestly, the first day I got my cedar oil spray, I sprayed so much of it along the wall and corner and stuff. It almost killed me. The smell was so strong. I love cedar oil spray. I love the smell of cedar, but that was so strong that it almost killed me. I woke up next day with a headache and my sinus was all dry and raspy, and my throat was dry and raspy. My eyes were stinging, and I was thinking, "Oh my God, this is some good shit. Like, if it's doing this to me, God knows what it's doing to the bugs." Well, what it did to the bugs was force them out of their hiding places, and they all came out. So it turned into a bit of a horror movie around here. I grabbed my vacuum cleaner and uh, sucked up most of them. But yeah, it happens every time I spray cedar oil. They don't go out of the house. They just come out into the open. Um, so second thing I did was I bought a bunch of bug trap, those roach motel thing with a sticky tape inside. I put them down, the corners under the bed, behind the furniture. I checked one of them today, and it definitely caught something. I wasn't about to stick my whole hand in there. I just used one fingertip and felt a little bit along the edge, and there's definitely something there. Yeah, again, eek, really squeamish, disgusting. Um, but I will say that ever since I laid down the bug trap, the frequency of coming across these things have definitely decreased somewhat. Still finding them, but not as often. Uh, if any of you got any other trick that is not going to be harmful to cats, let me know. Okay? And if your solution is bring in a exterminator, well, I know that one. I just don't want to pay for it yet. Um, anyway, that's my woe for this week. Today, I want to talk about something that's been on my mind since yesterday. Yesterday, me and a couple of good friends, we attended an event at the university, and it was about the preservation of destroyed artifacts and destroyed art. And this particular event was called Remembering Tadmor. Uh, and for those of you who are like me, who's not up to date on your Syrian culture, after your Middle East lore and all that stuff, uh, this is the brief version because I don't really know a lot about the Tadmor, or some people call it Palmyra. It's this big stone archway that built around the oasis in the desert in Syria. And it stood there for thousands of years. It was built there by the first Roman emperor that ruled there when the Romans ruled there. And it got destroyed, I believe, in 2015 by the ISIS when there was a Syrian civil war, and ISIS destroyed the archway. And so some people in Europe has built a replica of the Tadmor Archway. They made two of them. One of them is like human size, really small, and the other one is almost full size, like the original one. And they've been touring all over the place, all over Europe and some parts of the world with these replicas and showing them to people. And I'm pretty sure charging money, uh, putting on shows and stuff like that. Anyway, so um, during the event, uh, let me quickly say this, just in case any of the event organizers ever watch my video, although I doubt they ever will. They seem to be young, promising, white university students that have better things to do. But hey, you never know. Just in case you guys ever watch this, right? The event leaves a lot to be desired where accessibility is concerned. Okay, accessibility was almost non-existent. Um, First of all, there were a lot of stairs to go down to where the event was, and there's no ramp for wheelchair. Right? That's a big no-no. Number two, a big part of that event was a like musical performance. Uh, Now, in the group I went with, one of us was hearing impaired, and they did not get to enjoy the musical performance, I don't think. And I can only imagine how boring that part was. So I think this is something to take into consideration if you have someone who's hearing impaired in the audience. Like, you shouldn't just rely on musical performance. You might need to have something for them to read information on display on the side, or stuff like that. Okay. Um, Another accessibility issue is when we first got there. the speaker, the person giving the lecture, wasn't even using the microphone, and I couldn't even hear her. Like I could hear someone talking, but I couldn't make out anything she was saying. And then suddenly, when the interpreter, who spoke the other language. I'm sorry, I don't know what dialect she was. Whatever, I'm guessing whatever they speak in Syria. Um, when she was using that language, then she used the microphone, and it was so loud. So it's like, what the heck? Like, if you are when you're speaking English, how come you don't use the microphone? Uh, it was so hard to hear that I did not honestly get most of what was said during the first half of the lecture. It wasn't until we asked her to use the microphone that she finally used the microphone and I could hear what was going on. And there's no braille material for visually impaired and blind people. And last but not least, what the most maddening thing of the whole event, people that were there that were helping us get directions and stuff like that, and people that were coming around to be helpful, like the people that were coming around to give hand out paperwork, they treated me like I was got a plague or something. Like they kept talking to the sighted people around me and they would not address me. I was sitting right there. I was even answering them when they asked questions. And like they just never even addressed me. I felt totally ignored and objectified. It's sad, okay? When you have a university event and your accessibility and attitude is like that, it's sad. Right. But that's not the only thing, that's not the main thing I want to talk about today. That's just something I need to get off my chest. And in case any of you ever run an event, I want you to keep in mind that ignoring the blind person is not okay. Okay? And you need to think about things like that. Let's get back to preservation. Uh, Because one of the questions being asked yesterday that I've been thinking about a lot is replication and preservation of a destroyed artifact or culture or art, is it okay or is it wrong to do it? And I'm going to give you my thought, and I would appreciate and welcome any thought in the comment section. And I'm going to give you some reasons why I think it's wrong, and some reasons why I think it might be okay. For me, I am more of the opinion that it's okay in small quantity. Like if you make it so it's like a miniature model to show people that this was there once, or if you make it like you take photos, you make digital copies, uh, like digital recreations of something, I think that's okay, right? But I think a full scale replica of something that's old and destroyed, I don't think it's okay. Um, and I'm going to give you guys my reasoning for that. Uh, But first, let me quickly say that when it comes to Tadmor or the Palmyra Archway, we a lot of us tend to want to think of it as part of Syrian culture, right? But remember that thing was built by white people. Okay? That thing was built by Romans when they conquered the area. So isn't it also right when we say that is actually a symbol of colonialism and it's a symbol that's probably better off being gone? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not Syrian myself. I'm not versed in my Syrian culture. So if any of you is from that region and you find this offensive, what I just said, I'm sorry. But I'm just thinking that if I was like, okay, if the Mongols built something in China when they ruled China, and then that thing has stood there for thousands of years, reminding us of the shame that we were being conquered by Mongols, and then someone come and destroy it. Honestly, I don't think I would be all that broken up about it. I was like, that wasn't ours in the first place. They built it here when they were enslaving us, so let it be gone. So yeah, like sometimes we think, oh, it's so sad that it's an old piece of culture that's being destroyed. But when you think of it, like, where did that come from? Is it really that good? Is it really a good symbol? Yeah, maybe not. So now let me give you some of my own reasons why I feel that replications and preservations of these destroyed artifacts is not okay. The first reason I think it's not a good idea is because to me it cheapens the idea of loss. It cheapens the idea of the destruction itself. It somehow makes the destruction, makes the war seems okay. During the lecture, we were told that the people that behind the restoration of Tadmor project, one of their slogan is whatever you can destroy, we can rebuild. I am sure that sounds like a great, inspirational and a good pat on the back and very upbeat kind of speech. But to me, there's the opposite. There's a there's an opposite darker side to that, right? If we destroy something and then it's gone, and it's just going to be gone, then maybe we think twice before doing that. But when you promote the idea that it doesn't matter, you destroy it and we rebuild it, well, then I'm just going to go destroy it. You rebuild it, I destroy it again, whatever. You say you can rebuild it, then it's no big deal. During war, I don't have to be careful. I'll just destroy whatever because you say you can rebuild it. Like to me, I'm not even in that situation, but I already feel that, oh, well, if you can if we can replicate everything, if we can rebuild it, then what's the big deal? Just let it be destroyed. It's really old. So even as a bystander in my head, it cheapens the idea of the destruction. It cheapens the impact of the destruction itself. So I feel that that is a big reason why it's not okay to just recreate and rebuild, replicate these things. The second reason why I feel that is not okay is because it steals from the culture itself. Okay, now let's say someone blew up the Great Wall, and then some Chinese person dedicate their life to restoring the Great Wall and do that, then I may feel better about it, okay? Because it's like it is a Chinese person restoring a piece of Chinese culture and history that's obviously very important to them. And, you know, but when it's something that destroyed, let's say a Great Wall get destroyed, and then some Japanese guy or some white guy come around and say, "Hey, like it would be really cool if we can restore, make a replica of the Great Wall and then tour the world with it and make money." Yeah, I think you guys already see where I'm going with this. It just feel totally wrong, right? Like like if it has to be restored, if it has to be replicated, I think it has to be done by the original, like the people from that culture, right? Some people say, yeah, but the people from that culture they're not doing it. Well, then they are not doing it. Obviously, it's not that serious. It's not that important. Or if they don't want to do it, then just leave it alone. You know, this feel it's almost like you tear down something in your house and I come in and replicate that and rebuild that and then say now I get to tour the world and take all the credit for it, and it's not even my house, right? It doesn't feel right. I feel that it's a very serious case of cultural appropriation and definitely steal from the people. If there have to be restoration, if there has to be replication, build it where it was, leave it alone, and hopefully it's built by the people from that culture, or the people from that culture at least have been consulted and compensated fairly. Don't come in from a different culture, uh, thinking, claiming that you're doing it for educational purposes, and then you take that all over the world. And it's supposed to be a piece of people's culture. It's not supposed to be a spectacle for you to tour the world with. The third reason I feel that why I feel it's not okay to replicate and restore a destroyed piece of culture like that is because it cheapens the original process. Look, would it be sad if the Great Wall get destroyed? Yes, it would be. But you know what? It's not serving a purpose. It was built as a defense against northern tribes and invading enemies. It no longer serves that purpose. It's just taking up a lot of land. I know I sound really horrible when I say this, but is it an important part of our history? Yes, it is. But it's not doing anything anymore. So if it get destroyed, it get destroyed, right? Because you know what? Originally, it was not a happy place for people to build it. A lot of people, thousands, maybe millions of slaves died building the Great Wall. People dragged away from their homes to go work on the wall and died from exhaustion and starvation and get buried under the wall. People that never got to go home. Okay, something like that shouldn't be replicated with modern process, right? I'm not saying that we start getting slaves and get them to build it from the ground up, right? I'm not saying that. I'm saying leave it alone. If it goes down, it goes down. Let it be, right? Because when you rebuild it with modern technology, 3D printer, cranes and laser technology and trucks and hoist and concrete and all that stuff, you totally cheapened all the sacrifices, all the hard work people put in thousands of years ago, right? This piece of thing, you are replicating the look, but you did not replicate the souls and spirits of the piece. You did not replicate the sacrifice, the heartaches, the tears, the blood that went into building this. So your replica is hollow, it's meaningless in the end. So why do it? There's no point, right? Even if you build a new Great Wall, it's not like we would feel good about it, right? Um, pyramid, same thing, right? A lot of people died building pyramids. So would it be fair if you just 3D print one nowadays? No, it would be totally wrong. But obviously, we're not going to go get slaves and chain them up and force them to build the pyramid the old-fashioned way. So if it's gone, let it stay gone. Let people remember it, mourn for it, grieve for it, look at it on the computer screen, look at it on paper. There's a lot of photographs, a lot of books, and move on and move on. I mean, this part of time itself? The whole point of existence is some things go, some new things happen. Cultures are not supposed to be forever. Nothing is supposed to be forever. Is it sad when they get destroyed? Yes, it is. But that's what is supposed to happen. That's what it have to happen in the end. They either get destroyed by people or they get destroyed by elements, or they get destroyed by time, right? Something's going to happen. They have to go eventually. And you know what? That's okay because as old cultures go, we are making new memories. We are making new cultures. We are making new monuments that are better. And you know what? Slaves don't have to die for these things, right? Uh, so honestly, there's no point. There's no point replicating it because you will not replicate the original sacrifice that go into it. Now, let me give you a few reasons from the other side of the spectrum why I think it might be okay. Although I think I personally lean toward it's not okay to restore and replicate things. But I'll give you I'll give you some counter arguments from the opposite side. Number one, for educational purposes. Okay, so yeah, I think not everyone has the money to go see the Great Wall. Not everybody have money to go see the pyramid. So I think a certain amount of replication is okay when it's like scaled down model or digital renders for people to learn about it while they read the history. I think in that case, you are not cheapening the original process. You're not even saying that this is a replica, the exact replica. You're saying that, hey, this is like, in case you've never seen it, this is basically what it kind of look like. I think, especially for blind people who can never feel the Great Wall, right? Like, it's really big. If you take me to a Great Wall, I'll just say it feel like a lot of stairs. Basically, what happened when my parent took me to the Statue of Liberty. I didn't think it's that cool because I just climbed a lot of stairs. It didn't feel like anything. But you know what? When my dad bought me a small like replica of Statue of Liberty, it tied the experience together. Okay? Now I could envision me, a tiny, tiny Johnny Tiger, climbing up this tiny, tiny model of Statue of Liberty. It solidifies it in my mind. So I think in that case, a certain degree of replication is okay. Number two, I think if it is something that really means a lot to the people and the people themselves want to restore it and put it back, I think that's okay. Okay, I think it's a little bit pointless to the way I feel, but I think that's okay because hey, it's your culture. If you want to restore it, go for it. I feel that in that case it's fine. Uh, each to their own. If you want to put your money, if you want your taxpayers to be paying for restoring the Great Wall or a pyramid, hey, if your taxpayers are okay, then okay, that's fine. I think in that case it's tolerable. It's okay. But outside of those two reasons, I honestly personally can't see much uh, right or uh, righteousness in doing something like this. Is it it's restoration of artifact, a replication of artifact? Is it fine or is it a crime? I personally think a lot of time it's more close to being a crime than anything else. Agree with me or disagree with me? Leave it in the comment section. And thank you for checking out today's video. I'll be back, hopefully, tomorrow for some Music Monday. For now, have a good night.